Well, good evening. Jeffrey Darty here, your host at the New Cosmic Knowledge channel. And that's where you are. If you've wandered in here not knowing where you are or what this is the place where boundaries are busted. This is the place where envelopes are expanded. This is the place where paradigms are pulverized. And this is the e-ticket ride for those of you old enough to know what the hell that is. This is the place where you get in, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Hold on, put on your seatbelt because we're locked and loaded, wall to wall, treetop tall, and we're ready to rock and roll. That's the way we do things here at New Cosmic Knowledge. I thank you for being here. I thank you for joining me. And I want to talk about something tonight that's near and dear to my heart. This will probably be a quick show. I don't imagine that we're going to talk a whole long time, but I want to talk about something here. And I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you the little graphic that I made for this show. Because, I think it's a little bit spiffy, but I also want you to take into consideration what it is and what it means. And I don't know if I'm sharing or not. Let me make sure I'm sharing. I'm sharing. I like to share. Sharing's good. So we're talking about SSO. And we're talking about soul spirit optimization. And I really should have Jay Campbell here with me, and I will. And I really should have Sandra D'Angelo here with me, and I will. But we're talking about soul. We're talking about spirit. We're talking about optimization. That optimization. That first S is for soul. And in my way of thinking, soul is this body. This body is a soul. The spirit is the real you. And we've been trapped within this body for thousands of years. Now we're learning how to get out of it. And now we're learning how to make it our servant. And now we're learning how to optimize both of them. And the main goal of every person who's seeking truth should be soul optimization, spirit optimization, but more than that, it should be soul spirit optimization. SSO is the only way to go. I'm Jeffrey Darty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. Hello, Warrior Princess. Nice to see you. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, make no doubt, and let there be no misunderstanding, that my greatest work, my greatest focus, my primary duty is the first S, the spiritual optimization. That's what I do best. That's what I've been brought here to do. That's what I've been brought here to help you do, is to get this spiritual optimization down. And that means getting yourself to the place where, I say it all the time, I know it turns cliche, but it's so profound, where you guide your own spirit. That means you don't look to pastor, priest, rabbi, imam, mom, dad, sister, brother. You don't look to any other. You look to yourself to be your own spiritual guide. You are your own guru. You are mastering your own ascension. You're asking questions. You're questioning answers. You're realizing you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. That's the main goal of spiritual optimization, to get you to a place that during this life, you can act with sovereignty, with freedom, with divinity. That during this life, you can assist others in sovereignty and freedom and divinity. And that when you leave this life, I just had a short conversation with Jay Campbell, when you leave this life, that you can leave this life divine, sovereign, free, and choose where you want to go after this life. And that's what I do. That's why there's, going on 1,400 videos here over, it's just craziness. And I thank you for it. That's why we have all this, for spiritual optimization. But about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, I discovered, actually, I re-remembered the vitally important piece of soul optimization, body optimization. I used to be a bodybuilder, and I used to have one of those old-fashioned leather weight, belts you put around your back. And on the back of it, it said, "I'm the temple of the Holy Spirit. Why should God have to live in a shack?" Silly, I know. And yet, why should the divine have to live in a shack? And more to the point, why would the divine want to live in a shack? Why would the divine take the time to deal with somebody that didn't care anymore about their soul, their body? And here's why. Because soul optimization, which is your body optimization, soul optimization, when you're optimized physically, it makes it so much easier to become optimized spiritually. If you can't sleep at night because of chronic pain, you're not going to be rested during the day, and you're not going to be at your spiritual best, period. If you get out of bed in the morning and you can't straighten up, you have to walk like you have stiff legs and take baby steps because your Achilles tendons are so tight. If you have to sit in a hot shower or in a hot tub just to get enough mobility to be able to move and walk around the day, the last thing that you have on your mind is being spiritually optimized. You're just trying to keep one foot in front of the other. You're just trying to get through this life. And I started waking up. Sometimes I couldn't get out of bed because my back was locked up. It was sore because I was overweight. It's not a mystery. I couldn't straighten up sometimes because I was out of shape. It wasn't a mystery. And if you have debilitating physical conditions, you're not going to be able to be soul optimized. You're not going to be able to be spirit optimized. Now, of course, I must put in a caveat for those of you that suffer from, paraplegia, things of this nature that you can't help. And I've seen you folks rise above and become spiritually optimized anyway. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the rest of us that our idea of fitness is fitting this whole pizza in our mouth. That's the people that I'm talking about. Rooney's getting all fired up, the new cosmic kitten. But soul optimization is the engine that drives spirit optimization. I'm telling you. Thank you, Sandra. And you've watched me. I always say letters. I don't get letters. Nobody writes letters anymore, although I do get a couple letters every now and then. But I get emails and I get texts that say, "Jeff, you look younger than you've ever looked. Jeff, you look more handsome than you've ever looked. Jeff, you look in better shape than you've ever looked. Jeff, you look sexier than you've ever looked." I really do get those. There's a lot more of those. You're an antichrist. You're going to hell. You're apostate. I get a lot more of those, but I do get some that say you look like a stud now, like I just did from my sweetheart, Sandra D'Angelo. And yeah, I look better, but that's not the big thing. But can we just talk here? When you walk past a mirror and you're like, "Oh," I remember walking past a mirror and I look like Santa Claus without the suit. And I didn't feel very good about that. And I had to forget about that to get myself to the place where I could get back into some sort of spiritual optimization. When you look at yourself and you don't like what you see, it's hard to really be at your best. But when you look at yourself now, hey, Trisha G, when you look at yourself and all of a sudden you don't quite look like the Buddha statue anymore. You don't quite look like the Michelangelo's David yet either. But you don't look like the Buddha. And in my mind, that's progress. When, some of the ripples you start to see aren't fat jiggling, but there's actually muscle poking out because you're dropping weight. I know it's vain. I know it's ego driven, but I'm telling you, when you start to look better physically, You start to feel better physically, and you're able to engage better spiritually. Soul optimization leads to spiritual optimization. Not only that, if your soul is optimized and if you're healthy and you're able to stay awake longer, you're able to work harder, you're able to study more, you're able to understand more. And guess what? Guess freaking what? And don't even get me started about alcohol. Don't drink it. I don't drink a drop. Jay Campbell don't drink a drop. Sandra D don't drink a drop. Why? Well, we all have our reasons, but it ain't helping me get where I want to go. All right, I'll get off that soapbox. Just a little editorial message. But soul optimization, as I have lost, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds over the last 6 months, as I have been in the gym and I'm starting to feel my muscularity come back, as I can, get out and ride my bike 4 miles to the beach, stay at the beach for an hour, come back, sprint the bridge, and then get on my bike and ride home and feel good, baby. As I am taking the Ormus that Robert has prepared with intention infusion, as I'm wearing the MYSTECH, why do I do all this stuff? Because it works. And because it's spiritually optimizing me. It's soul optimizing me, which is making it easier for me to be spirit optimized. And I'm just going to go out and make a bold statement. I know that's unusual for me. I'm going to make a statement that's going to hurt some feelings, and it's going to make some of you mad. That's okay. If you're a delicate flower, you might want to fold in your petals. If you're a delicate snowflake, you might want to move away from the heat because here I come. If you're not a big dog, you might want to stay on the porch, because not only does soul optimization make spiritual optimization easier, soul optimization is the only thing that makes spirit optimization possible. I'm just going to say it. You are not going to reach the heights of your spiritual optimization if you don't reach soul optimization. If you don't get yourself into at least decent, hopefully good, we're not going to be Jay Campbell. We're not going to be Monica. We're not going to be Sandra D'Angelo. But we can be in good shape. We can have, we can have trim waistlines. We can have body fat, under 10%. We can be able to get up and run a mile if we have to. We can do 10 pull-ups. We can do, 20 push-ups. We can be physically optimized. And when you're soul optimized, your soul doesn't block the reception of divine information anymore. And if you're going to get spiritually optimized, you're going to have to get some divine download information. And if your soul, your body's not optimized, cousin, you're not going to get it. We are in the optimization business, and cousin, business is a booming, but you got to be booming yourself. Business is a booming, not a snoozing. You're not going to make it to where you want to go if you're not optimized. The high realms of spirituality are not for the unoptimized. They're not for the soul unoptimized, and they're not for the spirit unoptimized. That being said, go back and watch my videos from a year ago. Go back and watch my videos from 6 months ago. You're going to see a dude that was not optimized. Not even close. Bad haircut, bad beard, fat, not flexible, not limber, out of shape. That's the guy that you're going to see 6, 8, 12, 24, 36 months ago. Go back and watch those videos. And I will listen to you open-mindedly. Who's better? Was that guy, the physically unoptimized guy, a better teacher? Was that physically unoptimized guy better at bringing spiritual truth to you? Was that physically unoptimized guy better, the same, or not as good as this getting to it physically optimized guy? Thank you, Trisha G. Am I Michelangelo's David yet? No, not even close. Am I the Buddha anymore? No, not even close. And I'm telling you, folks, as I become more soul optimized, I become more spirit optimized. And you will too. If you step away from toxins, if you step away from these recreational things that we put in our bodies that we don't have to, if you step away from too much carbohydrates, if you step away from processed foods, if you step away from sweets and treats and I almost said meats, sweets and treats and cakes and cookies and crackers and, you know, candy bars and all that stuff. And if you're at that place like I was, I'll tell you how I started. Dairy. Oh my goodness. Thank you for saying that, Sandra D. Dairy. We were sitting here, I guess it was Sunday or Monday morning, and Sandra looks at me and says, "You're allergic to dairy. That's the problem with your throat. It's dairy." And I loved coffee, and I loved heavy cream in my coffee. But that on Monday, I quit drinking heavy cream in my coffee. In fact, I quit drinking coffee because I don't like it unless it's got heavy cream in it. So it's been Monday, it's been Tuesday, today's Wednesday. We're almost through Wednesday. Have you noticed a difference in the last 3 days in my voice? I have. Have I noticed a difference the last 3 days in my breathing, in my sleeping? Yes. Because like Arnold Schwarzenegger once told me, he said, "I don't drink milk. Milk is for babies." And he's right. Milk is for babies. Don't drink milk. Don't eat cheese. Don't eat dairy. It's not good for you. That simple piece of advice from Sandra has turned my life around. Putting on these MYSTECH bands has turned my life around. You can see I like them a little bit. Taking this Ormus that Robert is making has turned my life around. He also says that he can make some other products to help us. So we're going to start going down this road a little bit. And I know some of you are going to get mad at me. Well, Jeff is selling this and Jeff is selling that. And if you don't like it and it bothers you, well, bye. You know what I'm saying. Some of them are made of metal manifested muse. Not all of them. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be cross. Are we cross? No, we're not cross. But I am your huckleberry. And this is just my game. It's time for us to lock and load. It's time for us to start down the road of SSO. It is time for you and me to start creating something where the divine doesn't have to live in a shack, where the divine doesn't have to fight through plaque and fat and sludge to get you a message, my brother, my sister. I was a fat, lazy, earmuffs bastard 6 months ago. And I had to make the decision to realize that I was a fat, lazy earmuffs bastard. Nobody can do it but you. But the rewards are more than you could ever calculate. It's not just you, it's us. And I think one of the reasons my back was sore then was from carrying all you guys that won't do your part because you're not optimized. Get out in the sun. That's why I'm so tan. Do I like the way I look when I'm tan? Yeah. But I like the way I feel when I'm tan because I'm empowered by the sun. And guess what? I'm walking around and grounding myself on crystals every day when I'm at the beach. That's why I'm doing sun gazing. That's why I'm ingesting the Ormus. That's why I'm wearing the colloidal silver bands. That's why I'm wearing the serotonin bands and the 432 bands and the Schumann resonance bands. That's why I'm doing it, because I want to optimize my soul, because in optimizing my soul, I can reach my ultimate goal, which is optimizing my spirit. I love each and every one of you, and I say that with sincerity. And sometimes when you love someone, it means that you have to give them some hard truths. That's what this is. Me trying to provoke you to optimize yourself. Yes, I want you to unindoctrinate yourself, but I also want you to optimize yourself. Look at me. You empaths, tune in to me. You human lie detectors, focus on me. What do you feel coming from me? John Glenn, remote view this and decide. Am I for you or am I against you? Am I on your side or am I just up here taking cheap shots? Only you can decide. But I will keep going. I will keep growing. And as I get more soul optimized, it's only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm just going to keep bam, 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 slamming, jamming, and going for it even more. You know, whether King David was real or not, he had a great quote one day, and I'm doing this. This is the end. They brought the Ark of the Covenant back from the Philistines. You know, whether this happened or not, it's just a story, but it has a good point. And David was the king, whether he was or not, it's just the point. And they bring the Ark of the Covenant down the street, and he's so excited that he starts dancing, you know. He started doing white guy dance, just like me. He was so excited, kicking up his heels, dancing. Woo, yeah. And his wife says to him, boy, the king has really defiled himself this day. And David said, woman, you ain't seen nothing yet. David said, I have not yet begun to defile myself. And then he said a word that started with a B that I won't say. Woman. And if you think I'm crazy up to this point, just wait. And to all my haters out there, may I just say thank you very much. And there's so much more coming. Get ready. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge, and we are just getting started. We're in the optimization business, cousin, and cousin, business is booming. Unindoctrinate yourself. Optimize yourself. Do it now.